Everyone, Joe here from ActionX, and welcome to What's in the Tube, or welcome back if you're here for, can't believe I'm saying this, the Rookie Season 8 episode reviews. I hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe out there, hope you all had a wonderful new year, hope the last 7 months have been intriguing for y'all. I believe when I recorded the Season 7 finale, when we were wrapping up that coverage last year, I had a job. Since then, I lost that job. Now I have a new job, but regardless of that, it's been a very eventful 7 months for me. It's been very eventful. Will I get into it? Probably not. But the point of the matter is that we are here. It is time for Season 8. We run back out of the gate. We just run back out of the gate. This episode, just coming back to it, because again, this is just kind of how the cadence is nowadays, which I'm pretty satisfied, to have a rookie blimp in my life, There's a period where the rookie's on the air, and this period the rookie's not on the air. And I have a good cadence with that. I have a very good cadence of that. I think where we are at right now with Season 8, Season 8s are very tricky to navigate. You're in this territory where, the budget, the cast kind of is in that very weird flow of, where do we go? You look at other Season 8s of show, some people leave, some people get killed off, you get a bunch of brand new people already popping in. You kind of really are questioning what is entirely the next thing for them to go through. And the fact is with the rookie is that we're just going to run it again. We're just going to do the same thing again, the same cast. We kept everyone on board from the last season. And honestly, I love it. I really do. I think just, them finding ways to be able to evolve the story, being able to kind of give a new status quo every season, being able to kind of give something to be able to kind of make the rookie still feel new and fresh. And I talked a lot about this during Season 7. And I think I won't repeat most of my same talking points in Season 8 because, Season 7 was all about reminding viewers, reminding the network, the rookie can still make it feel like a brand new show each and every season. Well, which is the point, yes, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be. We could have just been a true procedural and just kind of rinse and repeat, adding some more character stuff then and then out. But the fact of the matter is that we managed to, again, going into Season 8, it feels already fundamentally different to an extent. I'm very excited for it to get into the actual premiere. I think the premiere was great. Obviously, it's its own ball of wax, This kind of felt more like along the lines of trying to keep the show fresh, which was great. Putting the cast on a real life international setting was wonderful, as well as keeping the story going from Season 7, specifically ongoing, and kind of setting the board for what Season 8 could be. I think we got a lot going on, and it's a really good balance. I will be remiss to say that most likely, I'm pretty sure their well, I actually heard interviews that the international trip actually was in the same budget, which I'm like, I don't know how y'all did that. I don't know what tricks or locations you have to play for, but no, that's cool. It's really cool the fact that I mean, I don't know what's going on in the other show. I don't know. It's just this is Mad Law. That's my only network TV shows right now. So if there's any other broadcast network TV shows going to other countries on the regular, tell me. I can be wrong, but the fact that we're going to a whole nother continent in the rookie. That isn't I've seen it before where they use different areas of America to kind of look like another country. We're not going to another country to save money on the budget, of course. But the fact that they were able to go somewhere, make it kind of feel like it's another type of episode while still working in the conformities of a rookie episode and a traditional budget, I'm gonna give kudos to that. I'm gonna give kudos. And if this is, again, I 100% understand they're not promising yeah, that's it. You're only getting this one episode. That's it. I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. But I think this episode was needed to kind of set the bar for what Season 8 could be. We still have 17 more episodes. And so far, it's great. I'm very excited. I'm very locked in. I know there's going to be some issues down the road. I know there's going to be some trials and tribulations. I'm very curious to see how that's all going to develop. I'm very curious to see how it's all going to end out to be. And I'm looking forward to it. I really, really am. So with that being said, I want to get down to it because also I do apologize if you hear my stomach rumbling. I'm trying this new diet out, so I'm very hungry right now. So I apologize, and I have a new setup. You can't see it here. I actually have a table. I have a table now. I have a media table. Shout out to my best friend, one of my best friends, who got it for me and my partner for Christmas. So I'm using it for like my little setup. My microphone's here. My water bottles here. It's not like on a little stool that I've been using. It's you've probably seen it before in the collection conference, but like it's very very nice, very very nice. I appreciate it. With that being said, let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about the season 8 premiere of The Rookie. So I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I was in the middle of recording the Slate of the Channel update when the episode began, so I don't quite know what the first opening moment was. I'm going to apologize for that. I still watched the 99% of the episode, so I'm still going to keep going on it. But no, where I begin the episode is just basically setting the stage for this joint task force between Mid-Wilshire Station and the FBI, which I'm going to be remiss, before we get down to it. Did Garza's team just disband, or are they busy doing other projects? Because it seems like, again, I understand Feds got canceled sadly now 3 years ago. It's been 3 years ago. It's been 3 years ago. So I'm 100% understanding if Garza's team kind of went throughout the regular system of the FBI, or someone else is managing the team, or whatever the case might be. Whatever the case might be. The fact that like Garza, we couldn't even like remotely have the Feds pop in for an appearance here. I don't know. I'm just pushing my Feds agenda on the Rookie still. Alexi, I'll reach out to you on Twitter eventually. But no, but honestly, we're setting up the stage. Obviously, end of last season, it was revealed that Monica, Wesley's ex-wife, former big shot lawyer, now known convict, has gotten a plea deal with the U.S. government to be able to walk away scot-free because of she retained access to some classified information back in the bus episode from season 7. But however, as part of the deal, she must assist the government, or specifically its apparatuses, at times with specific operations. Being maybe Monica must now assist the team of hunting down very well known fugitives of the world, and this is the first one of many. Being a very well international arms dealer that does have operations in LA, but is primarily an international enemy. So the team of Garza, Harper, as well as Nolan and Bailey, with Monica, are going to proc to go undercover, acting as Monica's bodyguards in order to scope out the arms dealer out of hiding, and hopefully nab him at the same time as our regular Mid-Wilshire forces are in LA, getting the rest of the apparatus kind of dismantled as well, kind of like a joint task force. Like we attack them from multiple different places at the same time. I know people are going to be questionable. Why did Nolan and his wife get chosen for this? Obviously, Bailey has credentials with the armed forces. Her service record is impeccable, but exactly how did those conversations come up for her to be involved in this task force when this was clearly a joint from FBI and LAPD's Mid-Wilshire? Do not ask me that. Do not ask me that. I know people were criticizing, like, should have been Tim, should have been Lopez, should have been anyone else. I understand that completely. Let it be. Let it be. It just works out. It works out that thing. You get everyone united on a common front. They're already there, get everything to go on the operation. Before we get into the actual operation itself, Chen returns back to her apartment to find Juarez doing some yoga, doing a little workout before she starts her shift as Lucy ends her shift of the night shift. And yeah, they're talking about like, well, it's been 3 days. Has Tim asked you out yet? And Lucy's like, what's the assumption of like Tim needs to ask me out as soon as like, I'm a sergeant now? That doesn't mean like, it's perfectly within like the way to do so. Doesn't have to be. He can ask me out whenever he wants. It doesn't have to be now. It could be in a month from now. It could be a year from now. Who knows? He's under no rush to do so. And Horace is like, nah, 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 that ain't happening. Like, y'all been like hooking up, y'all been like this steamy, passionate, level. It's got to happen sooner or later. This thing cannot go on for another year. And obviously, I think she's speaking for the Chenfur fans out there who have been boiling and steaming for the better part of a year and a half. Trust me, I feel ya. I feel ya. And especially Lopez feels ya. As Lopez berates Bradford for like, why haven't you done anything? It's been 3 days. And Bradford's like, well, I think the universe is showing me that like Chen falling asleep to his request of moving in with him is a little too soon. Maybe it's not exactly in their cards right now, and maybe he should take it as a sign that he should wait and go explore other opportunities. And Lopez is like, nah, 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 that can't be. You're just scared as a chick. And trust me, as someone who's been scared as a chicken to talk to females for a good half of his life, I could relate to Bradford. I could definitely relate to him. But definitely, I understand Bradford's scared. He doesn't want to mess this up again. He already messed it up once, punishing himself, hurting Lucy as a result. I don't blame him for wanting to take it slow this time around, wanting to let the right opportunity come about. I don't blame him that. But Lopez and Juarez, they ain't for that. They ain't for that 1 second about. Um, I believe we cross connections here. I believe, yeah. So this is when the entire team kind of like gives the point of contact. Nolan and Bailey are just mainly watching Monica, making sure that the arm dealer gets in touch with Monica to make sure that the order's in place so they can do the meetup. I believe Garza and Harper are doing some scope out at at a different site in Prague. I believe that's kind of where they are right now. And the Mid-Wilshire folks are leading in on this one individual. No, actually not this one individual. At this specific site that is known to be a hot buzz for trafficking, but it's not confirmed yet. So they're going through an entire database of known criminals. Hopefully, one of them will be at the site, and hopefully they can push in to interrogate. So that's kind of where everyone's at right now with the joint task force, so to speak, at the moment. Obviously, Nolan and Bailey trying to take the best of the advantage here of like you're in a romantic city. The trip is kind of almost paid for, and like they could definitely make this into a second honeymoon. That because the last time they had a honeymoon, yeah, that island idea that didn't pan out so well. It did not pan out so well. But regardless, we're here. This is now. And they're just focusing on that and just making sure that Monica stays on her best behavior at this current moment, considering the fact that they don't trust her. No one trusts her. But this is the situation we're at right now. We're at the construction yard. No, actually not yet. So before they're able to pull out of the construction yard, Smithy informs Miles, who has also off camera gotten his short sleeves. Congratulations to him. And also, I guess has been 6 months since season 7 or some variation of that. I'm not really sure. Bradford works in a different mindset now. Smithy informs him that apparently an HOA is being formed in the Shangri-La, which I'm thinking to myself, is it not a parking lot? What kind of housing is it? Okay, I know people are gonna say trailers are still homes. Anywhere can be a home. I completely understand that. Who the fuck is going to open an HOA for a damn trailer park? Who? Regardless. He's here telling him, hey, look, we're starting an HOA. There's a monthly fee of $900. You got to pay that. I'm like, monthly? Bruh, that's basically just like, bruh, who's paying $900 to live in a trailer park? Like, who the fuck is doing that? And obviously Miles is appalled, considering the fact, again, going back to what was said in season 7, that he does need to have some form of a private residence so that he could be able to, actually function without risk especially during his first year as a boot. So he's kind of debating, like, what does he do? Does he have to go find a new place? Which again, LA is pretty expensive. Or at the same time, does he decide to go out and just stay with this freaking the Smithy OA? Well, what does he do? What does he do specifically? We don't know exactly yet. We really don't know. So we have everyone coordinating around the yard. They are watching everyone, trying to see if anyone's a match for it. Everyone's in plain clothes. Actually, are they in plain clothes? No, they're not. Wait, are they? No, they are in plain clothes. Bradford is just focusing on the task at hand. Miles just wants to have a conversation with him about Shangri-La, but obviously everyone wants to talk to me about Lucy, and I'm just like, bro, not okay. As much as that's what everyone on the show wants, that's what everyone in the fan base wants. It's not always about you. Just calm down, Tim. Calm down. But no, Miles just talking about Shangri-La and what should he do, and Bradford has nothing to say because his mind is not there. It's not there. But Miles manages to ID one individual that is a known potential connection. So everyone forms a perimeter around him. He does briefly get away, but he flips over his car, does get into an accident. But they do manage to take him kind of into custody. They take him to the hospital where Gray is pressuring him to kind of give them the information they require. His wife is also also there. She's telling him, please stop, this is not right, we have to take him to surgery first, and then you can interrogate him afterward. But Gray said, this is a very sensitive matter, we need this information right now. He keeps pushing, rejecting him rejecting him the surgery until he gives the information, which he eventually does do so. But Gray's wife looks at him with disgust, like, really? Like, you do it in front of me, you put the hospital at jeopardy. And even though Grace says this is a worldwide matter, there could be millions at stake here. And she's like, it's kind of is, I get that, but it's, again, why does it got to benefit you? Why can't you just let the patient go do things my way for once? And so she backs away, not so happy. And yeah, Gray, you're definitely going to be sleeping on the couch tonight. I'm just going to be completely frank with you. I hope you got a big enough couch. I really do. Gray loops in the others. They do manage to get one specific shipping site that is known for the illegal transfers. So this is definitely something that they can now look into, going into more of an undercover mode for the time being until the back in Prague they get confirmed and everything. For it, I'm forgetting some things about Prague. I mean, even though like Prague was like such the primary selling point for the episode, I forgot about a good third of it. To be honest with you, I'll be completely honest with you. This is exactly why it's called the Butcher Recap, because I can't quite remember things. But regardless, Nolan and Bailey are switching out shifts just to make sure that everything's fine. Monica does try to slip away, but she fails. And they're like, yeah, you ain't going anywhere until we have a confirmation that the buy is in place. But Monica's like, well, if I'm only going to stay in my hotel room the whole damn time, then of course, like, this is going to be actually a red hat fight. Oh, she's only coming out for the meeting, and she's just trying to make up appearances. And they're like, fine, you can go out shopping, but obviously Nolan Bailey has to be her bodyguards. I believe she's like, okay, we'll do it, but y'all need to get changed. If you're a part of my entourage, you ain't wearing any of this. So they do a whole fashion montage with Nolan, and I'm just like, does Nolan getting it? Well, not actually. Does Nathan Fillion getting a fashion montage in 2026? Was it really needed? Honestly, yeah. We gotta come full circle. He had a very nice, slender start to 2025. That he was in DC Studio Superman. Got that very awful bowl cut, very awful hairstyle. Thank you, James Gunn, for doing that. He's going to do that again later this year, but just in general, like, yeah, you know what? We need to come full circle on that. We need to come full circle on this. I apologize, Nathan Fillion. I really, really do. So they proceed onwards. They go explore the marketplace, but Bailey and Nolan do notice a couple people following them. They do manage to take out the perpetrator, managing to take him back to the hotel room to interrogate him. He is another well-known thing, but he's going to be a tough nut to crack. But thankfully, at the same time, Monica does get the confirmation from the international arms dealer that he got the merchandise. He is a little bit sus about her at first, but it's still very much, okay, we'll move forward with it. We'll meet up tomorrow, and we'll move forward with that. So definitely they do have a plan in place at that point. I believe everyone back in Mid-Wilshire is now in plain clothes. Everyone's kind of coordinated. Gray, for some reason, asked Wesley to participate because this is going to be an international operation. They want the lawyer. They want someone there to legally say that this was fully sound, which I'm just like, y'all are just trying to find reasons to put Wesley in the plot. I am sorry. This is not a lawyer show. And look, I love Wesley as much as the next guy. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, y'all trying to find a way to fit him. Even Lopez was like, why do we need Wesley? Like, for me, that was pretty funny. That really, really was. So we're at the stakeout. Lopez and Wesley's first stakeout is very quickly. I apologize to Wesley. He was only in this episode for like a minute before Lopez. Yeah, no, these stakeouts are moments where like two people can really talk. Like we have a moment to really speak with each other and really get to figure out each other to a core point and to talk about serious matters. And Wesley's like, do we got anything to talk about? Are we in trouble? And like, no, not this season. And then Lopez goes into the other van, which is where Bradford and Miles is. She kicks out Miles to go for a snack run, and she talks to Bradford about like what is going on. Have we made any progress on the Chen front? And Bradford's like, no, she is asleep. We're gonna let her sleep. She works the night shift, so we will see her. I will see her when I can. And Lopez is like, this is not gonna happen. Like you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't take a risk, if you don't take a chance. And Bradford's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not. Like it's gonna the time's gonna come when the time's gonna come, and that's gonna be the way it is. And Lopez is like, nah, I don't agree with this whatsoever. So when Miles comes back with the snack run to Juarez, she then comes in, kicks out Miles from the other van to talk to Juarez about, look, you and me, we see things like perspective. I'm on Team Bradford, you're on Team Chen. So I'm like, we got to get these two lovebirds back together. We got to find some way to instigate this. And Lopez is like, okay, you know what? Well, Juarez agrees, and then Lopez is like, okay, here's the plan. Here's what we're gonna do. We figure out that plan off screen. We don't get privy to any of that information at the time. I believe while they're doing their stakeout, Gray is visited by his wife at the station, which of course she is, not happy with him because again, what obvious point is that that Gray is always putting his career first because of course, obviously Gray has the more life-threatening career is that his career should not be always used to be put atop of her career as well, which obviously Gray's like, I would never do that to you. Like, I have always been supportive of your decisions, of everything. I never told you to ever quit your job or at any point. And she's like, I know, and I always will use the time I spend with our daughter, raising her as a stay-at-home mom. I will never take that for granted, but like now she's starting a whole new chapter. She's like in the middle of her her second encore, and all she would like is like some support, like like some care from Gray that like he does care about her job too, and he does care, but like sadly it's just right now it's just that's kind of the play here. So sadly they don't rectify things at all right now, and they leave it as be, which I'm like, Gray, you gotta know. You gotta know when to like. You gotta know the position, man. You gotta know, but like he just does not. So that they're at standstill right now on that front. Um, I believe do we have a nighttime scene in Prague? I don't believe so. I believe we just get to the next day on their front. But we have to talk about the pinnacle moment. It must be said when Chen takes over of her shift, which is a little bit confusing considering the lighting of it. Like I don't know if it was sunset. I don't know the timing of this. Let's just say it was a random time. Let's just say that I don't know. Chen comes to assist with Juarez as they cross paths on their shifts. As they are Juarez is going overtime, and Chen is clocking in for her shift. Juarez says, "Hey, Bradford needs to talk to you, sergeant to sergeant stuff. So you should go speak to him on that." And which she does. She does head over there to do so with Bradford also receiving the same thing from Lopez. And I feel sorry for poor Miles. He's just being bossed around today. Like he's got nothing going on besides this Shangri-La issue. Oh yeah, that reminds me, he gets another thing with Smithy about the whole Shangri-La thing, and Smithy's trying to like pitch up like what has the trailer park established. They got a hot tub now. It barely works, but it still counts. So I'm like, yeah, I don't blame Miles for like trying to find a way now to abandon ship. I don't blame him whatsoever. But anyway, so Bradford goes around to meet up with Chen. Obviously, the two immediately recognize that, yeah, this isn't anything with the job. This is clearly a setup from Lopez and Juarez for us to get back together, and they obviously do question it about like where things might be, and honestly, I'm gonna give them complete credit to the marketing team. the fact they had the balls to shoot an entire secondary scene that has nothing to do with the episode. It was just done for marketing to throw them off their scent. Like, we ain't getting nothing from Chenford, but then sadly the press release kind of spoiled it. So I'm like, yeah, that was dope. That was dope. That the fact you shot a whole nother scene, I'm dope. But yeah, no, these two are willing to get back together. He's just Bradford just wants to ask, do you want to go out again? Do you want to start over? Chad's like, yes. If you promise this time around, you're going to be more truthful, more open, more honest, and he agrees 100%. They share their first kiss as a couple again. And I'm like, congratulations to the Chenford fans. I told you back in season 6, the writers know what they're doing. So I would have admitted I would have rather preferred them to keep you guys on edge for the next half a season. But anyway, so they're back together. Congratulations all around. So now we probably get to the next morning. The meetup is happening. Nolan and Bailey are kind of standing by arm length while Monica's conducting the business. Harper's also nearby by a photography sniper. Garza's in a nearby van just ready to go, just to make sure everything's in place here for the buy. I believe the buy starts to happen. Everything's going as quick as may, though they start to notice some discrepancies with things going on. A fight breaks out. Nolan does get in the middle of things, trying to take down the nearby forces as everyone else is on it. Monica does manage to slip away for the moment, but they do manage to kind of, rectify the situation at hand. Monica goes to a nearby, I believe, a church building or a nearby structure where she meets up with a nearby local thief who was apparently about to hand off some local jewels to Monica, where Nolan and Bailey immediately corner her. Apparently, Monica's been broke. She never got any financial backings from her immunity deal. Sad to say, which I'm like, oh, boo-hoo. So she was trying to sell this off, trying to live very comfortably for the next 2 years, which I'm like, yeah, you gotta you gotta be grateful to have at least a home and a roof and food on your plate. You don't need a Lamborghini, you don't need high-end food, you just need the basic stuff. But regardless, so they bring her in. They're ready to kind of sniffle this one out, close the book on this operation. Which at the same time this was happening, so Mid-Wilshire manages to close down the other secondary side at the shipping yard, which thankfully goes up without a hitch, though Chen does briefly twist her ankle during so. But, it was, again, a nice little moment between Chen and Bradford during this, back to the full sweetness, but still being on the job moment, which is very appreciative for their new dynamic. Then, while Nolan and Bailey are taking Monica back to Garza, Garza does phone them in, saying that they did manage to identify the assassin that they took down yesterday. It turns out to be related to that bird guy that was in season 6. If you remember when Nolan got shot in his ass, if you remember that far. He's still miffed at Monica for putting more international eyes on him. So he sends more of his goons to their location to take them down. Nolan and Bailey focus on taking down the primary goons, while Monica once again tries to use his opportunity to escape. But she does get briefly cornered by another one of the assailants. But thankfully, Nolan and Bailey manage to take out the other ones successfully, quickly, to come back to Monica to save her yet again. You're welcome. So that wraps it for the case. They managed to take down one of the major arms dealers in the world. It's a big win all around. Monica does get a little consoling prize with one of the jewels that Garza does kindly give her. It is $100K worth jewel, which isn't much, but it should be enough to get Monica back on her feet in a legal way, which Monica's like, oh, come on. There's got to be more. And Garza's like, nope, you ain't getting more. You are going to continue your end of the immunity deal, and this is a present. You ain't getting any more presents like this. So, sadly, that marks the end of Monica's get rich scheme for now. She'll probably have another one sometime soon. Harper is ready to kind of close out the book on this operation. And Garza offers her a very unique proposition for to join another new team that Garza's cooking up. But this is a more international team focusing on targeting these big threats as things go, which means sometimes Harper will be at Mid Wilshire, but sometimes she will be around the world with Garza. So it's kind of going to be like a two-handed, a two-handed peer here, in which Harper is grateful for the opportunity. Sadly, she does have a newborn, a young child to still care for, a daughter she does want to continue raising, and then a husband she does want to keep. So she does decline the offer for the time being, but which Garza does respect her decision to do so, and they move forward on that front. Sadly for Garza's case. But however, we're not quite done with that just yet. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, we cut back to Mid Wilshire. Everyone's clocking out for the day. Chen tells Juarez the news that yes, she's going to be moving out to move in with Bradford soon, but it's going to be a slow adjustment. It's not going to be like tomorrow she's going to move out. It's going to be a very slow move in. But Juarez like, no problem. We'll make it work. I'll find a new roommate. We'll figure it out. However, as they're leaving, Smithy is still annoying Miles potentially about the HOA matter, and Miles is about to make his decision. Juarez overhears this and immediately grabs him and just immediately tells him, no, I got an offer for you. And Miles is like, I'll take it. Anything's better than HOA Smithy. That's the huge win there. So Juarez will have a new roommate. Chen is taken by Bradford, who almost takes Smithy home, which I'm like, Smithy, why would Bradford take you home? Why? Why, Smithy? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say you were just. I'm sorry. I wouldn't even take you. I'm so sorry. I really am. That's not the cadence there. Gray wises up. He buys a bouquet of flowers for his wife, apologizing about this, and understand that this is going to be a very interesting time for them as they're trying to figure things out. As she's more confident in like really giving this new second go with life a fair chance. And at the same time, for Gray, he's just going to be a loving husband for the time being, and just continue to support her, even if that means at times they don't get to see each other. Gray gets a call from Garza to come over to the plane, in which Garza offers Gray the same contract and same deal that he offered to Harper, which Gray's like, you know what? If my wife's going to do the second chapter of her life, I'm allowed to do the same. So he takes the deal. He takes the opportunity, which means there will be times where Gray will not be present as the primary watch commander for Mid Wilshire. So Garza's like, so who are you going to have to take over your position? Which is where we get to see Tim and Lucy finishing up their first romantic trizid of their new relationship. Very sweatily, very profusely, as, again, Bradford shows his initiative of being ready for Chen to move in by having a ton of boxes ready for her to use for, but Chen's like, yeah, no, you're going to have a lot more to pack, which I'm like, wait a minute. You have an apartment. You do not have that much stuff. I'm sorry to say that. I'm really sorry to say that. But yeah. So they're happily moving in together. Nolan and Harper are busy. Not Harper. Nolan and Bailey are enjoying their last days in Prague, which apparently is a little bit extended, as apparently the feds already prepaid for the hotel room over the weekend so they could stay there for the weekend before they have to head back home, which is great. It's a loving little second honeymoon for them to be able to continue their time there before Nolan could truly begin his second honeymoon. Sadly, his worst fears has reached international as a local street performer performs Sexy Cop, and I'm just like, damn. I'm so sorry. Nolan, you'll just never get away from that song. You just never will be. And that wraps up the Season 8 premiere for The Rookie. I really enjoyed this episode. I really, really did. I think, honestly, just reminding fans that we're still capable of being able to pull out new types of stories in different ways while still keeping the same rookie formula is a wonderful thing to do. Still having Garza there. I'm loving they're finally listening to me. We better get a Gray and Garza episode now. If Garza and Gray are going to be teaming up more, I want that episode. I don't care about everyone else. Just give me that episode. But regardless of that, Tim and Chen getting back together, Congratulations to y'all. You did it. You waited for another dark period. If they do it again and they break up again, then yeah, I'll reach out to Alexi personally. But regardless of that, the Prague stuff was fun. Getting to go international, having them kind of play around in a different sandbox was fun to see. Miles kind of getting the full Smithy treatment finally was really amusing to see. And Lopez and Juarez kind of doing a little team of their own. That's kind of the things, getting unexpected team ups when you don't really expect them. I think it's honestly it gives a better cadence for what could be what is to come for the larger spectrum of things. And I think that's like the one of the most best parts you could do for a TV show to keep things fresh and going. And honestly, putting Gray in like this very like giving Gray finally something really powering to do, which is of course going to deal with this new thing with his wife, having to deal with these new cracks in their relationship, as well as teaming up with Garza more. It's gonna make for some interesting dynamics, which I really hope just means more positive things for them. But we will see how that goes. We will see how that all um, turns out to be. But for the time being, I love this episode a lot. I really, really do. I hope this is the start of a really fantastic season, and I'm looking forward to what more shenanigans, what more excitement has in store for season 8. But with all that being said, I'm giving this episode 2 thumbs up. Let me know down below, what did you think of the season 8 premiere of The Rookie? Did you love it? Did you like it? Let me know down below. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing the Season 8 premiere of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's the Two besides our Rookie Season 8 reviews. Right now we are just doing Rookie. We will be back next week with another bright episode review, so stay tuned until then. But again, thank you so much for watching. It's been great to be back with you guys again for another season. Let's make these 18 weeks stretch as long as possible. It's going to be a very exciting next few months. I'm very happy to be back here. But again, thank you so much for watching. But until next week, please stay safe out there. Be good to each other. Please, oh yeah, I forgot the usual rigmarole. It's been a while. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring the bell and follow social media for more. But until we see each other again, stay safe out there. Be good to each other, and as always, peace out.